Okay, hello. My name is Theresa, as Hazel introduced me. So I am a third year PhD student. So a PhD student is basically someone who's doing research, and at the end of my research, I will be called a doctor, hopefully. So I'll give you a bit of information about myself. So does anyone recognize this map? Yes. What's a map? What's it a map of? Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So I'm from London. I am from a town called Stockwell. So that's on the Northern Line, at the very bottom there. And so my parents emigrated from Ghana. So I call myself a Ghanaian Londoner, and met down in London, had me and my brother, and then I graduated from a university in London, and then I came up here to the sunniest city in Scotland, so to Dundee, to do my PhD. So I came here because we have a lot of good facilities, and we're quite well known for the quality of research that we do in the School of Life Sciences. Okay, so that's my lab there. You can see me there. You can see Luke as well, who's in my lab, and Paulina, who's also in my lab in the back row. Okay, and this is my lab space, very neat and tidy. This is where I do most of my experiments during the week. Okay, so now let's get on to the science. Okay, so what are humans made of? I'll give it to the children for now. Do you know what humans are made of?
Bones.
Bones, yes, that's a good answer. Any other? Yeah?
Organs.
Organs, yes, that's a good answer. Anything smaller than an organ or bone? Blood, yes, that's very good. You said skin, yeah, that's good. And blood as well. Anything smaller than blood or skin or bones? Atoms, yeah, that's even smaller. Okay. So between atoms and then bone or organs?
White and red blood cells.
Yes, so we're made up of cells. So white and red blood cells is one of them. So we are made up of trillions of cells. And do you know what cells are made of? So I'll open this up to everyone. Any inkling of an idea? No answer too silly.
DNA.
DNA, that's very good. That's very specific, very good. Any other idea? Okay, I will move on. Okay, so cells are made up of many different molecules, and you have your DNA within the nucleus of your cell. Okay, so molecules can include protein, carbohydrates, and lipids. So, for instance, you eat your meat, you may eat your nuts, you may eat your soy protein, you may eat bread, you may eat avocado, any sort of other fat. And when you eat them, they go into your digestive system, and then they're broken down into smaller parts, and then these form your cells. They form your cells. So lipids is just a posh name for fats. Okay? So I'm focusing mainly on proteins. Okay? So you eat your protein, it's digested, and when it's digested, it's broken down into things called amino acids. So think of amino acids as letters. So your proteins are made up of a chain of letters. And as you can see, they're really complex molecules, but they have different letters. Okay, so proteins are made up of amino acids. I want the children to remember amino acids. Can you repeat after me? Amino acids. Amino acids. Again? Okay, good. So if you combine these amino acids in different ways, they can produce different proteins. And a protein is made up of at least 100 different amino acids. And depending on the location of the cell within the body, they may make different types of proteins. So for instance, your lung and your liver may make specific types of proteins that are unique to that organ, just so that the organ can perform the particular function. So for instance, your lung is used for breathing. So you produce specific proteins that will help for you to breathe well or respire well. And so proteins have different functions. Okay, so I'm going to give a quick recap. So what is the body made of for the children? Yep.
Cells
Cells, okay, so just cells for now, so trillions of cells. And what are cells made of? Okay, I'm going to go with you again. Yeah,
Protein, fat, and carbohydrates.
well done. You have a very good memory, well done. That's specifically it. And what are proteins made of? Okay, yeah, you're on a roll. Amino acids. Amino acids. Okay, very good. You're definitely going to get a prize. Okay. All right, so I work on a protein called FAM83H. So it's a shortened form of this. So family with sequence similarity 83 member H. So if you remember the name of my protein, you'll also get a prize. So FAM83H. Okay. So it is a family, is part of a family of proteins that have 8 members. So this is a family, 8 members. We have someone called A, we have someone called B, we have someone called C, we have D, we have E, we have F, we have G, we have H. So this would be my protein. Okay, and my other lab members are working on different members of the family. So you can find my protein in many different parts of the body. But we know that it is mutated in an inherited dental disease known as amelogenesis imperfecta. So I know that I've given you quite a sciencey statement, very heavily worded. So what do I mean by mutated? Okay, so who knows the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Different generation? Yep, you know it. Anyone else know it? Oh no, okay. You're showing my age. All right, so we have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and they are, I don't know if you would classify them as superheroes, but they fight crime, and they're different than normal turtles because they eat pizza, they can talk, and I think their senseis are wrapped, if I remember. Pardon?
They've got swords.
They've got swords as well, yeah. Normal turtles can't hold swords. Okay, so when I say mutant, so they're called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So the mutant means that they're different and they're kind of changed from the normal turtles. So you can see this normal turtle's just doing its business, you know, walking around. But this one, they're ready to fight someone. Okay, so mutant means that it's different. So for instance, in this disease, this is my normal protein, and then this is the mutated FAM83H protein. So what is the difference between these two proteins? I mean, you're answering all the questions. Okay, yes. It's not cells. Okay, let's pretend that these circles are amino acids. So it's lost some of the amino acids. So it's shorter, basically. Okay, so my normal protein has 1,179 amino acids, and my mutated protein has around 287 to 694 amino acids. You'll also get a prize if you remember these numbers. Okay. All right, so I've talked about amelogenesis imperfecta, but I haven't told you what it is exactly. So it is a dental disease, so it affects your teeth. It is inherited, so that's the Simpsons family tree. For instance, your mom might have it and then you might get it. And it makes your teeth soft and cheesy, so it's really unpleasant disease. So it is a kind of rare disease depending on where you are in the world. So for instance, in the US, the incidence is around 1 in 14,000 people. So if you have 14,000 people, one person may have this disease. In places like Turkey, it might be around 1 in 200, and in Sweden is around 1 in 700. So interestingly, most of the proteins that are involved in this disease are only found in the enamel or only found in the teeth, but my protein is found all over the body. So what is it that my protein is doing that when it's mutated, it affects the teeth? So that's what I'm trying to find out. So for instance, you can find my protein in the teeth, you can find it in the lungs, you can find it in the heart, you can find it in the liver, you can find it in the kidneys. So my project is to find out what FAM83H is doing in the body and also how it's involved in this disease. So we don't know that much about this family of proteins, but as a lab, we're trying to understand what each member is doing and potentially if there are links to other diseases.